is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Happy Monday, guys. Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Ready to rock and roll with you guys on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. But before we get started, guys, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. You guys know the drill. Hope everybody had a beautiful weekend. I know it's Monday. I know the grind's starting. I know it's tough. But you got your boy here to help you out. Now, today is going to be part 2 of the 2024 Miami Heat Draft Series that I'm doing. We did part 1 on Kel'el Ware 2 days ago. If you haven't seen it, take a moment after this video, watch part 1. It's going to make a lot more sense with this episode. Part 2, we're going to go to a big name. A name that people have talked about and have linked the Miami Heat for in the past. And also with a new update that I want to tell you guys on. Now, we're doing this series because, let's be honest, there's really not a lot to talk about. Rumors have kind of stalled with the whole Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell thing. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a wait-and-see approach. We're waiting for Donovan Mitchell to possibly request a trade from Cleveland. We're waiting to see what happens over there. Then we know that Jimmy Butler's contract extension doesn't become eligible until July 7th. So we'll know then more details. But it's June, and that means it's draft month. The NBA Finals are around the corner. Now, one different thing that I wanted to let you guys know about, this season's going to be a little bit different. This offseason, it's going to be a little bit different. Not sure if you guys knew this or not, but giving you a little tidbit. This is the very first NBA offseason where teams are allowed to negotiate with players after the NBA Finals. So actually, what I just meant about the whole Jimmy Butler thing is actually not really true. July 7th, he does become contract extension eligible. However, the Miami Heat can start discussing extensions talks with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, for that matter, as soon as the NBA Finals are complete. So that's a big reason why NBA teams want the NBA Finals to finish quickly. Because the quicker that the finals finish, the quicker you can start talking to your team, your players that are about to become free agents. So it's something very different. Before, it used to be you couldn't talk to anybody until free agency. It's a little different we're doing in the offseason. I think it's actually good because it allows teams a better shot to retain their players. But what we're going to do in this episode, you guys, and I know I kind of drifted off a little bit. It was to give you guys an update. But we're going to talk about Zach Edey today. Now, Zach Edey's a name that's been linked to the Miami Heat before. He's a guy that we have talked about on this channel. But like I said, we're doing a draft series. So in this draft series, I want to talk about every player individually. Now, another reason why I told you to watch the part 1 episode with Kel'el Ware was because I did mention Zach Edey on that episode. These two centers have been linked profusely to the Miami Heat, Kel'el Ware and Zach Edey, but Zach Edey mainly. And I'm actually going to read you guys a report that was written by Jonathan Givony from ESPN, who wrote on Zach Edey's potential for the Miami Heat. He said Zach Edey is slowly incorporating a three-point shot into his offensive arsenal this past season. And he has the type of defensive versatility that could be useful alongside another big man in small doses. Edey's offensive rebound and interior scoring are skills the Miami Heat don't have much of, potentially making him an attractive pick at number 15, end quote. If you guys look at Zach Edey's numbers the last 3 years in Purdue, he's been a beast. The dude's in his first season, he averaged 14 points, 7.5 rebounds, 1.2 blocks. But the last 2 seasons, he's bumped those numbers up. Both years, he's averaging about, his second year was 22.3. Last year was 25.2, so he's up that scoring every year. He averages about 12.5 rebounds a game, 2.2 blocks, 2 assists, 62% from the field. He did improve his three-point shooting this past year in college, averaged 50%. Did not really shoot that much attempts, so I'm not even going to think about that there. But you did see in the combine that, he wasn't as slow as people thought he was. He does have a three-point shot. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, in the combine, and when you're wide open and this stuff, making three-point shots, that's kind of what you're supposed to do. I don't really think that translates to in-game action. But I will tell you this. I mentioned a few things, you guys, about Zach Edey in the Kel'el Ware episode. I don't really want to call them negatives. I was just pointing out where Kel'el Ware is more beneficial to this roster rather than Zach Edey. But Zach Edey does have his huge benefits for this Miami Heat roster. First and foremost, his size alone. The dude is 7'4", 300 pounds. The Miami Heat has not had a dominating center like that since Shaquille O'Neal. It's been almost 20 years. Notice how I didn't even say Hassan Whiteside, because he wasn't a dominating center. He was a good defensive center, but was a knucklehead at most times. Zach Edey does have the patience. When you do see how he plays his offensive game, there's footwork. Now there's cause for, you know, the fact that he can get better, he can improve, but that's why you have Erik Spoelstra. Erik Spoelstra is known as the best coach in the NBA. Now he's not known for the big centers like Zach Edey. He's not known for taking these guys. You know, he's known for the more small ball guys. That's why he's had Bam Adebayo as his center. Bam Adebayo was a power forward. We all know that Bam Adebayo's natural position is power forward. So this is another benefit that Zach Edey brings. Zach Edey takes the pressure off of Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo, whether Zach Edey can start or whether he comes off the bench, it just alleviates Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is also developing a three-point shot. If you can get Zach Edey on this team, get his size with a three-point shot, he can have a similar game to Brook Lopez offensively. If Zach Edey can get his offense to a Brook Lopez level in the NBA, he'll be unstoppable. Simply because of what he brings on the defense. He rebounds like a beast. He blocks shots. This is something the Miami Heat has not had in years. We're not known for being a presence in the paint. When you play against the Miami Heat, you can drive in the paint all the time. All you got to do is have a center that just is able to space the floor so you can get Bam out of the paint. And a lot of times, Bam isn't even that much of a blocking threat. Zach Edey will be that presence. I also mentioned in the previous video, Kel'el Ware is too, averaging 2 blocks a game. But Zach Edey is known for being a defensive presence. He's a monster down low. He allows Bam Adebayo to shift into the power forward position. You can play a new style of offense with Zach Edey. You can kind of go back to the old school basketball. Be more of a defensive presence team. With a front court like Zach Edey, Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler, this is a defensive-minded team. Start that with Duncan Robinson and Terry Rozier. Now you can have your offensive firepower with this defensive presence. Now you don't have to worry about Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson lacking in defense because you have a monster down low like Zach Edey. That's what Zach Edey brings. You're seeing a lot of problems in this Miami Heat defense. We have to play zone a lot because you have to make up for certain players' lack of defense. You have Zach Edey and Bam Adebayo down low. You're not really going to have to worry about that a lot. So even though Zach Edey has his disadvantages for this Miami Heat team, the fact that he has a size that Spoelstra doesn't normally coach, the fact that he may not fit this current Miami Heat offensive system, but just because of what he brings. And he's not the only one, you guys. Jonathan Givony's not the only one that says this. You've had NBA legends, guys like Kevin Garnett, Rasheed Wallace, boost up Zach Edey for the Miami Heat. You have analysis. You have people on, like a lot of people, journalists talking about the potential fit for Zach Edey to Miami. I think it's 50-50. I think this can really help you or this could bite you in the ass. That's why, like I said in my recent video, you guys, if you ask me, if Zach Edey and Kel'el Ware are available, I'd prefer to go Kel'el Ware. However, I wouldn't be hurt if we picked up Zach Edey because both guys' potentials are high. And they both have different types of game, but both can help this Miami Heat roster. So I want to hear from you, Heat fans. I know we've talked about Zach Edey in the past, but the fact that the draft is right around the corner, how are you feeling about Zach Edey? How are you feeling about this report with ESPN? Do you think Zach Edey is the right fit for the Miami Heat, or do you think it's another player? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We on the road to 4,000 subscribers. We are almost there, almost about 200 subscribers away. Really need all hands on deck. Let's click that red button. Support your channel, and that is enough said. Let's go, Heat Nation.